All right, we are live and direct. Welcome to theScore eSports podcast.
We're back with the birthday boy guest. You see it on Twitter?
I did see it.
Yeah, so many well wishes.
We're one day late, guys. One day late on the birthday. And whose birthday? Of course, coming up on the show in just a few moments, we have none other than Rick Fox, former NBA star, actor, and yes, owner of premier esports organization Echo Fox. Really excited to talk to him. I am, of course, your host, Colin McNeil. I've got Gabriel, Zoltan, Johan.
The prodigal son returns.
The prodigal son returns from China, no less.
Yeah.
And we've got Ryan Stratton.
Hey, what's up?
Coming up just in a bit, guys, we've also got a really exciting new segment from our friends at KitKat called In the Queue. It's the part of the show where we ask our guests what exactly they do to unwind, to relax, to focus up when they're not, owning
on the grind.
Yeah. I was going to say owning a giant esports organization in this case.
Hells yeah.
Exactly. So with no further ado, guys, why don't we get right into it and get Rick on the line?
Absolutely. He's,
Awesome.
I'll bring him in right now. Rick, how's it going?
Hey.
Happy belated.
Oh, thank you.
How did you spend the birthday just off the top?
Oh, I spent it with family. Spent it with my kids. Played a little tennis. When got a workout in, went to dinner, did a hike. Well, pretty active.
Very active day.
In the office here at Echo Fox, and VVP threw me a little birthday party in my office. And
Lovely.
everyone made. They made this big cutout of my head, and they think everyone seems to think my head is pretty big.
Is it being hidden?
Yeah,
Hidden with the hat.
It's like you get a fat head or whatever on your wall or whatever. They made this big cutout head, and they all did impersonations of me.
Oh, lovely.
I was going to say, that's the holistic approach to esports, right? The owner is taking it easy on his birthday, enjoying time with family, but then, I don't know, the trolling as well. Maybe it is pure
Just
esports.
making fun.
Now, the owner may be taking it easy on his birthday, but we cannot take it easy on this podcast. And I got to get to the brutal, to the serious questions. And Rick, I just got to come point blank and ask you, the NA LCS, League of Legends, is moving to a franchise model in 2018. Is Echo Fox interested in one of those franchise spots?
Yeah, I would say it's safe to say we're beyond interested. We've been a part of the LCS now for 2 years and 4 splits, and figuring out our footing when it comes to the competitive side. But as for our commitment to wanting to be a part of this, this partnership moving forward between Riot and the selections they make in the coming months here, we are definitely submitting an application, and we look forward to seeing and hearing the results.
So, speaking about the details of this application, we're not as privy to it, obviously, because the application's a little under wraps. But let's just say you're talking right now to Waylon Roselle and you're talking to Mark Merrill right now. You have 60 seconds to pitch the idea of Echo Fox in the LCS, in the NA LCS. What are the details that you would share to us as to why you deserve to have a spot in this new franchise model?
Well, as much as I would like to do that for you, and as much as there would be entertainment value in that, I am under an NDA, so I can't officially share the process with you or what I would actually put in that application.
That pitch,
yeah, unfortunately, I couldn't. Beyond just the simple fact that we have been in the LCS for 4 years. I mean, for 4 splits in 2 years, and we know the commitment and the Riot has made to esports, which we admire, and we've watched them lead in so many regards. So now as we get our like I said, our foundation laid in esports as a whole, a lot of that, and I would say the majority of that has been through setting an understanding through esports with League of Legends. So beyond that, I can't really say what we put in our application and what it entails. But it won't be long before we all find out, and then I can come back on and tell you exactly what was in it.
Ooh, now that would be nice.
Yeah.
Now, without speaking about details, how do you rate Echo Fox's chances? Because obviously there's a limited number of spots. We're not sure how many, but it's not infinite, right?
And there have been reports of an crazy amount of teams applying. I believe it might have been Slingshot that said over 50.
And not just North American teams.
Yeah, it might be from all around the world. We don't know exactly who is applying.
Point is, there's competition.
There's a lot. Yeah.
And you're asking me again to rate our chances?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have no idea. I know it's very League of Legends preseason to rate where you think your team is going to end up.
Yeah, of course.
I've seen those over each split, and I always say we're going to finish between 1 and 10. Obviously, we'd like to finish higher, but at the end of the day, we know we have a chance to compete. Right now, we don't. Outside of the next 2 weeks, and whether or not we were able to have a miraculous result above us in regards to teams dropping to make a playoffs run. We have 2 more weeks of guaranteed League of Legends play, and beyond that, we're like everyone else that's putting applications in. We understand that, and we hope we're one of 10 or one of 12 or how many teams they choose to have in the partnership process going forward. So we hope to be one of them.
Well, the franchise LCS isn't the only. Oh, I'm sorry, Rick.
I guess I didn't actually rate it, so I think we have a feather in our cap in the sense that we've been a part of the LCS and the NA LCS for 2 years, so it gives us at least the shorthand of language when it comes to working with them. They know what we're like to work with, so I think it gives us a little bit of a small, little nugget of hope.
So as long as it's not from 0 to 100, that range, you're giving us a smaller range to work with here. That's good.
That is good, yeah. Now, the franchising of the LCS isn't the only exciting big sort of wave that's happening in esports right now. Overwatch! That's right, Ryan's favorite game. We've also got Blizzard and their Overwatch League, which is going to be franchised and geolocated. Already some teams announced for that. Are you able to say if Echo Fox is interested in being a part of that or not?
Well, we have it on our board. We pay attention to all that is coming down the pipeline, and Overwatch has been an amazing game that's hit the market, and people have responded to it, positively. They enjoy playing the game, and this is Activision's, move into esports, and setting up what that looks like. We've seen some announcements of teams that are actually committed to the first inaugural season, and when that starts, remains to be seen. But yeah, we pay attention. We have our ear to the ground.
Fair enough.
That's good. That's good to know. So the main difference that we see between the franchise model of Overwatch and the franchise model of the NA LCS at the moment is kind of regionalization and the geolocation of teams, right? At the moment, Echo Fox isn't tied to a particular city right now, but do you see kind of tying teams to cities, having this geolocation model as the future of esports generally? Is there any speculation that you may have of the success and failure of the franchise model as a result of this geolocation at all?
I don't think it's a detriment to a league or to esports as a whole. I think the debate is will it in any way expand everyone's interest and loyalties, maybe because of traditional sports where there's loyalties to the Dodgers, the Lakers, the Rams, or whatever teams, whatever represent that region. But I will tell you that having been a part of successful brands from the Lakers, the Celtics, in my playing days, yes, they may have resided in Los Angeles and in Boston, but in no way did we ever travel to a city where we did not fill, a quarter of the arena with Laker and Celtic fans. And in our championship days, sometimes we had more Laker fans in a road game arena than we did and for that home team. And a lot of that has to do just with, I think people align themselves with successful players and successful teams.
Yeah.
And sports is young at the moment when it comes to the history of aligning yourself, but so many brands are now starting to take a global approach, as we do, to wanting those that are esports fans to find us as an organization and become an Echo Fox fan, regardless of where they live. So if we're stationed here in LA for our home base, it's not to say that we won't have teams that play in different leagues or different esports published games that reside in different parts of the country,
right.
Or world for that matter. So we don't see ourselves as a LA team. We see ourselves as a global esport organization that has players from around the world, that has teams that compete around the world on a weekly basis, and in some cases our teams reside in different parts of the world. So it makes us, at a young age as we are, it's exciting for us, but it makes us a global company even in our second year.
Right. That's awesome. A legendary traditional sports player that's been part of this, system of where you are in a city, and he's thinking global. I mean, that right there could be the 60-second pitch for the Overwatch League or League of Legends. I mean, right. They're thinking bigger. They're thinking about fan engagement, man.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of your playing days, Rick, this is actually a perfect segment to go into our In the Queue segment, which is brought to you by our friends at KitKat, where we ask our guests what they do when they're not, e-sporting, I suppose. And in your case, Rick, so I can't really imagine too much more of a stressful job than playing for the Celtics or the Lakers in the 90s. And I am sure that you picked up your fair share of off-the-court practices that help you relax, that help you refocus, that help you de-stress. And I was just wondering, have you been able to pass on any of the stuff you learned in your NBA career in that regard to Echo Fox's players?
Well, yeah, some of them.
No slam dunks, though.
Well, some of them have come with their own interests outside of competition,
mm-hmm.
which actually, that's I welcome that. I want them to have their own identities, and I want them to be following through with the things that bring them joy, because the game is stressful. Competition and being a pro athlete is stressful enough as it is. I did a lot of reading as a player. And I've noticed some of my players are starting to read. It's interesting enough, they read. In the case, I'll give you an example. In the case of Froggen, he's read books about Phil Jackson. He's read books about the years with the Lakers. He's a huge basketball fan. He follows. Mm-hmm. So his interest is one of basketball. I've had conversations with my players around music. I've had conversations around, because I go to a lot of concerts with my daughter. Mm-hmm. I've had conversations with my players about. I had it in my head; it just skipped my mind. Beyond play, I mentioned my daughter. I'm supposed to go to a concert with her tomorrow night, so I got to get those tickets. So my mind kind of just went off there. But no, the players are really taking an interest in their health and fitness and their well-being in that regard. So we've competitively around the organization. We're all chasing Jace Hall in our physical fitness. Like to be able to some way, at some point, take our shirts off and look like bodybuilders. So passing those things along to them has been something we do, because we talk about it. We see each other a lot around the facility here, and we just had Foxconn, which was a great opportunity to interact with our players. Some of them are really looking forward to, they're fight fans. They're looking forward to the Mayweather Conor McGregor fights.
Oh yeah.
We started to put our opinions on the line and our wages on the line amongst the organization. So we're an org of competitive individuals. So we compete. I mean, my own personal interest outside of staying healthy and working out as I get older has been, I game a lot. I game with Jace Hall a lot. We duos. I game with my son. I'm climbing the ladder in League of Legends, trying to get to 30 so I can be ranked. So I've been focused on that. H1Z1 is a huge part of my downtime. Unplugging. I'll play H1Z1 a lot. So, but as you know, esports is 24/7, man. And when you own an org, there is no rest really. So my relaxation is gameplay.
Oh, well, that makes sense. That's mine too.
Oh yeah, I've been playing PUBG a lot on my downtime. I just came back from China.
Oh yeah,
so
you
that
and
helped
everybody
a lot.
else.
Yeah,
I played it twice.
Yeah, but you're more of an H1Z1 guy, right? That's what it sounds like, at least.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me personally.
Well, not just for you personally, right? The team itself, there's an Echo Fox H1Z1 team as well, right? And that seems to be, combined with PUBG, combined with all these other kind of rising esports, something that Echo Fox seems to be really invested in is like committing to rising esports or esports that could be on the top tier. Why exactly is Echo Fox choosing to invest in those places in particular, in those rising esports, as opposed to things like CSGO, which may have, has fizzled out for you guys in the past?
Well, when it comes to our own individual, interests, I would say that's what usually grabs our attention first, right? Do we enjoy playing a game? Do we enjoy watching others play it? Is it an easily understood game? Is it digestible? Is it something that mainstream will find entertaining themselves, even if they don't play? Would they come and watch and then become players, down the road? So, H1Z1 is an example of a game that we fell in love with, just competing amongst ourselves, and thought it was extremely watchable and easy to understand. Mm-hmm. And so as we developed our own relationship with the game, and we started making content around it with the Taunt Fest that we do on bi-weekly. We've done it now for a year and a half or so, and then it moved into a relationship with Daybreak, and when it became the time to really discuss whether or not there was, H1Z1 was an esport, and whether it was something that we could be a part of and help bring to bear. And so that's kind of where we've thrown our interests when it comes to independent games that are starting to rise with an audience and a community that really love competing. The survival games, I think, are extremely entertaining and easy to watch and play. So that's why you see the rise of Pub PlayerUnknown, and you, as I'm sure, I think you'll see more of them. I've heard of more coming down the line.
Now, Rick, I know we're burning time here. We're actually probably over it. I was just wondering if I could ask you one more quick question regarding Delta Fox. When we spoke to Jace Hall a while ago, he was adamant that the Delta Fox roster, the Challenger roster, was built to win, was built to compete. And we haven't actually seen that. They don't have the most stellar record yet. And I'm wondering for you what the metric of success is with Delta Fox. Is it to win Challenger, or is it to sort of win viewers, get the stream up, get the profile up, that kind of thing?
Well, we're always trying to win. That's always the number one goal with any of our teams, is to compete to win. And when you speak of the results at the current moment when it comes to the Challenger team, it was a short runway of preparation for that. It was a short runway of actually competition. Unlike the regular season with League, Challenger is a shortened stretch of weeks and adjusting and getting back into form. Which, look, you can't argue that the talent of those players in the past has been some of the best players in the game. Now coming back together to dust off their competitive skills, but to really reignite that fire. That was the first thing that came with ease, I think, for them, was the competitive side of wanting to win, but then just figuring out how to get there. Unfortunately for them and for us, there wasn't enough time to really get up to, I think, the speed to really compete at their highest level. So, in no way do I look at the time there in Challenger with Delta Fox as having been a failure this year. I think what we've accomplished is we've had great players re-engage with League and with the desire to compete at a high level. And the record may not show it, but I have to think that across the board, it has reignited their competitive fire. So they're welcome to continue on as far as I'm concerned. And yes, from an entertainment standpoint, people love watching them. Mm-hmm. People have enjoyed them for years. So to have that opportunity for them to continue to do that would be great.
Does that reignite your desire to re-sign them then?
yeah, that's that's a two-way conversation. It's always a two-way conversation. Which I'm sure we'll all sit down as an org and reassess moving forward and together. And as far as I'm concerned, they've been great to work with for sure. I don't know if their experiences at this point, which we'll reevaluate everything moving forward, but we'll assess whether they want to continue to compete. I have to think that they're competitive in nature. It's going to be hard to leave that behind now that they did not maybe have the result they were hoping to have.
Interesting.
That's a storyline right there.
That is. That's a next season storyline. Well, Rick Fox, thank you so much for making time for us here at the Score Esports Podcast. It's been a real pleasure.
Sure thing, man. All right, guys.
Cheers. Enjoy the rest of your festivities. If you have any belated birthday activities that you got to do.
Well, Jace kind of stood me up for duos last night.
Well, there you go.
So he was working too hard on something, and then my birthday was over at 12 o'clock. So technically, it wasn't my birthday.
Oh man.
We usually run duos about from 12 to 3 in the morning.
Wow.
Oh my God.
He owes me duos.
I did that when I came back just because I was so jet lagged. But
it sounds like that's Rick's regular rotation there.
Yeah, I'm late. I'm a little bit of a late night guy, so
night out.
I ended up playing some League last night instead.
Nice.
I hear that. All right. Well, once again, Rick, thank you so much, and take care and happy belated.
All right, thanks, guys.
Thank you. Cheers.
Oh, well, that was a nice conversation.
Very, very good.
Maybe we can find him online at 3 a.m. Play him.
If I get into queue and League between 12 and 3, I might be able to snipe him. But that's Pacific, right?
True.
So we're going to have to hit up the real late night queues over here at the office. We're going to be up 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. You think you could do that with me, Colin?
Is that late night or early morning at that point?
Depends on who you ask. For me, I'm a young soul, young gun, so that's late night.
And the prodigal son.
Yeah.
You're a young man. I'm an old fogey.
We've gone full circle.
Holy.
Okay, well, let's go full circle with this conversation. Do you want to start from the backwards, like start with the Delta Fox and go all the way through, or do you want to talk about NA LCS franchise and go through the Overwatch? Because I want to break down what was said here today.
Well, it was interesting how he said that he thought that the competitive fire of the Delta Fox team was reignited, and that might be a motivation for them to come back stronger and compete a little bit more.
The players have said that as well.
Okay.
They've communicated that they really enjoy actually being back in that competitive grind. They're not practicing as much as those other teams, but they really enjoy that element of going back into it, kind of having the second swan song in a sense.
And I mean, I would also say that as we get more mature into this, like we're looking at franchising, we're looking at this holistic approach, we're looking at player contracts and all this stuff. So maybe it's a new day and age where they're not facing burnout anymore. And maybe even if they're in maybe if they're with a team like Delta Fox, something like their life of streaming. Like we've heard from a bunch of people who are on this podcast how even Firebat really nailed it about the life of a streamer and how it could be this downward spiral.
Grind, man.
Exactly. So now that these guys, if they're not held back by the physical abilities to be able to play a sport, they're playing eSports, they're playing League, they could come back at any time, 30, 40, 50 years old. You never know where this is going to go.
It's not like they're bad players either. I mean, they're streaming their games and people watch them because they're good, right?
Yeah.
But I think another really interesting aspect to that is, he's talking about how maybe, Echo Fox wants to kind of reignite something with them by virtue of them reigniting their competitive nature.
Right.
Echo Fox already has an academy team and a main team.
Right.
Yeah. So I wonder how that group even fits in the first place, and kind of if those people really want to compete, where exactly they're going to go, if anywhere.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I also like when Rick talked about how now that they went on there, they basically just embarrassed themselves in the Challenger Series, and now they got a chip on their fucking shoulders, and they're gonna go back. Hopefully,
maybe they do, maybe they don't. On the other side of things, like maybe they're just like, cool, I'm getting my money, I'm still streaming. I'm not gonna leave streaming behind for this.
Listen, okay, we can leave it up to Colin with all the speculation over here. The guys are like, maybe. What are you like the desk, like those sports guys who just call it where they see it? What about the guy that we just had on who deals with them day to day and knows what books they're fucking reading?
Exactly. This is true. However, Let me put it this way. Rick Fox has a slightly compromised opinion when it comes to speaking about Delta Fox. Do you think maybe?
I'm just saying over there, you're just going to speculate that it's going to be the other way? Devil's advocate, maybe.
I am a devil's advocate guy. And I am a little disappointed, speaking of Delta Fox, that I didn't get to pitch him my idea for the next meme team.
Beta
Is it
Fox?
going to be a fucking pun?
It's not a pun, and it's not Beta Fox, because that's like the worst name for anything competitive, right? But like, okay. So they got the meme team in League, right?
Yeah.
Signed all these old streamers, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So the iBuyPower guys in CS just got unbanned from ESL, right? Echo Fox has a CS team on paper only, right? It's been gone for a while. There's nothing really going on with it. Guess who is the sort of manager on paper? I don't know what the relationship is right now. Mo Assad. Mo Assad plays with Dazed and has a relationship with Dazed. Mo Assad is now claiming to be the manager for Swag, Brax Pierce, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the iBuyPower Echo Fox team, huh? Talk about viewer engagement, talk about streaming, talk about viewership there, right? High profile.
Talk about
sure, they don't get to go to the major, but
they don't. Yeah, exactly. What kind of competitive team can you be if you can't go to the major?
I could name a few right now, but that'd be BM.
And then what else was said? Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, I thought his talk about rising esports and how they kind of choose which esports to invest in was really interesting. Basically saying, like, if we think it's fun, let's go for it. Yeah, that's really like laissez-faire, like nonchalant, like
PUBG right
maybe
now.
he just really hates CS:GO. That's why they're not doing anything with
It's possible. I wish he had said that. Damn, that would have been good.
But it's really interesting that that's the mentality, that it's, if it's fun, if people like watching it, and if we can get something competitive going there, then we're gonna go for it.
Gabe, what is the deadline for the, like, do you know when we're gonna hear about the LCS franchise spots?
November.
We know it's Q4 2017. They post
English, please.
fourth financial quarter. There was a timeline posted, but the first written application is due July 28th, which is 3 days from now.
So it's still going to be a while until we know if Echo Fox has made it in yet.
Yeah, it'll be literally a few months.
Now, with the deadline just coming up, like you said, in a few days, is it gonna be released to teams that have applied? And also, is it gonna be
I hope so.
Yeah, and I would love to see the application. Like, I know it's not like a public money or whatever, but sometimes, like in, say, NHL, any traditional sports, we know what money people are getting in their contracts. Are we gonna be able to see these pitches? Is it going to be a fucking fan vote like All Stars?
I mean, I'll talk to Riot. I'll email Riot and let you know.
You're going to do your journalism thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice.
I'll do the whole journalism thing.
Just
I'll
don't
fact check.
Or you could just sit here like Colin and negatively speculate.
There was nothing negative about that.
Colin edits my optimism and just adds in negative speculation.
Oh my god.
All right, speaking of negative speculation, how about the Overwatch League?
What speculation?
Why negative, Ryan?
Yeah.
Why such a downer?
Exactly. I don't know. People are thinking it's not going to work out. Did you hear optimism, or did you hear more like Colin negativity out of Rick Fox?
I mean, I heard optimism, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, because Rick was pretty vocal about how regionalization can be a good thing and how people kind of tie themselves to successful regional teams.
And how it doesn't matter, I guess, if you're an LA team or a Paris team, like, you're going to have fans show up because they like your team.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so I think he's expressed some like positive elements with it. I don't know if that expression means necessarily that Echo Fox is going to jump headfirst into Overwatch League.
Didn't really sound like it.
It doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't sound like it. It sounds like they're pretty. It sounds like they're pretty like head down, tunnel vision on LCS and making sure that's happening. He's been pretty clear about that because he doesn't want to talk about it at all.
Of course.
Overwatch League is scary, man. If I were Rick Fox, if I was any other owner, it's kind of scary.
And if I may, like I was saying before, that maybe, and you guys got it on tape, on the ones and zeros on the internet, me saying
How old are you?
Exactly. Right? Yeah, got it on tape that I was saying that maybe Overwatch will sort of change the landscape for what's going to happen in esports. Now, who knows this NA LCS franchising and this whole thing with Dota 2 changes to the major system. There's a bunch of stuff happening, and esports is definitely coming to a mature level right now, I feel. And it's almost like the teams that we had back in the day in traditional sports were very regional based. Even the players that they had on there were regional. And now we're at a day and age where say if the two teams in the Stanley Cup, sorry, Canadians over here, but like the team, say the Boston Bruins, when they won the Stanley Cup, they had like 17 Canadians, and the Montreal Canadiens had like 3 Canadians. So already you're breaking these regional barriers, but traditional sports have always been tied to that local thing. If you're looking at esports with 100 million viewers worldwide and a worldwide Overwatch League, maybe this is the first thing that makes a global community, a global sport. And again, you've got fans coming from all over, and it doesn't matter if you're from China, Austria, fucking whatever, USA. You can all cheer for the same team, and you're all connected that way. And then who knows? One world government, and Kanye runs for president of the world, and that's the end of it. Who knows?
Wow.
All inspired by Overwatch.
That went to a really weird place. Illuminati Overwatch.
I think we just found out like Ryan's political philosophies and the way he thinks about life.
You guys don't know this, but like at 3 a.m. Ryan comes into this room and hosts like a really radical radio show.
Is this while he's queuing up to try and hit Rick Fox and H1Z1 in League of Legends?
Yeah, it's true. Exactly. Me and Alex Jones versus Jace Hall.
Oh God.
And Rick Fox.
I'd pay to see that, honestly.
It's toxic as fuck.
Jesus. Well, on that really, really weird note, I think
Don't take the microphone away from me.
I think it is time to end this podcast. So yeah, once again,
Ryan has a curfew.
Ryan's got to start his radical Illuminati radio show, so we got to get out of the studio.
Radical Illuminati Overwatch team with like Zenyatta and
it's all healers.
All
healers.
Now, before we do let everyone go, I just want to say my usual spiel, which is
what's that?
Well, this has been the Score Esports Podcast. We do this thing every week. Please hit us up on the social medias, the Twitters.
Can I do you for a second?
Okay, go ahead.
Can I have you? Hey guys, sometimes we do it 4 times a week.
Like I said,
I'm Colin.
Look at my red,
hair, man.
Like I said, Ryan has a curfew. Definitely.
He's loopy. He hasn't had his coffee today, I guess. And I do want to give a plug to our very first, actually, Kit Kat podcast, which we recorded last week, was with James Chen, one of the premier broadcasters in the world of fighting games. If you haven't checked that one out, I really recommend you do. It is awesome. So much cool stuff there post Evo.
He's got a cat kit.
Yeah, if you want to see if you ever want to see a cute cat on stream with Kit Kats together and a lot of puns, that's the podcast for you. With that, this has been the Score Esports Podcast for Gabriel Zoltan Johan, for Ryan Stratton.
Bye.
I am Colin McNeil, saying until next time, GG.